to the Dropshipping Queens YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the parameters that I use when I am sourcing a supplier for my store, okay? It's not easy choosing the person or the business that you were going to work with, right? So I'm going to give you guys some of the benchmarks that I use when I'm trying to decipher who to work with and why, okay? So let's just do a quick general search. A product that I was looking up earlier because they're booming. So I'm looking to add them to my general store possibly. And that's what yielded this video, honestly. So let's just say we do our first keyword search like the dropshipper I know you are. You look and you come up with some results, right? And of those results, you come up with various suppliers. Some suppliers that sold 4,200, some that sold 102, right? So it's kind of like the results are all over the place. And it's bringing different types of products under this general keyword search, okay? So before we make that decision of, oh, let's just choose a supplier, let's put some distance, right, between us looking for a supplier and making the decision of this is who's going to be the backbone of my store, okay? And within that distance, let's put some parameters, okay, that on why we chose them versus the supplier right next to them, okay? So one of the ways that I do that is once I get my supplier results from putting in the keywords, I like to see who are the top dogs of that keyword search, okay? I want to see who the heavy hitters are of that supplier search results. So what I do is that I will click orders and let this directory order their suppliers based on how many orders they've sold from the highest to the lowest. Okay, so before the screen, remember how it had 100 and something here, then next to it had 2,000, right? I want to get a little organization about it so I can see it clearly and understand who are selling the most. And of course, you can see in the pictures or whatever the products that they have that they're offering, okay? So let's understand what we just did, okay? Now that we have this organized by who are the most selling of those keyword search into who's the least to who's the least, we're not just going to just click on somebody. Not just yet, okay? There's still some differences that we have to look at besides whose picture is the prettiest, okay? You want to look for one, right? All this information on here needs to be utilized, okay? You want to look for number one. You want to look for orders sold, okay? I like to look at for orders completed, orders sold, because it gives me an indication of what people are buying, right? Somebody spent, there were 4,200 of these products sold here, but if I scroll down, only 500, 600 of these, almost 600 of these rather, has been sold. And so on and so forth. So that gives me a little indication of what people are looking to buy, right? What people are liking at the moment, what's trending, what's getting people to go get their debit card and spend their money on this, what people are gravitating to, okay? So yes, I initially started this as a general keyword search, but now I have indication of what products are being sold, okay? So I was like, okay, I like these orders sold. So 4,200 isn't that bad, because if they were selling maybe maybe 8,000, 10,000 sold, it's kind of a saturated product at that point for me to add to my store, because that means people are seeking out the supplier and they wouldn't come to my store rather for the product, okay? So 4,200 sold isn't that bad. The second thing I would like to do is I like to look at the pictures. People who put quality behind their product, okay? If it looks janky, I personally don't do it, right? And janky is something like, cloudy pictures that just look like there were just no attention to it or things like that, right? I typically stay away from those people because for me, that goes towards service. That's just me. right? I'm not trying to say the supplier's photos have to be how my photos are for my content or for my store, but just to have a level of presentation, it gives me insight into how they operate and carry their business for me. All right. And then I also look at the star ranking. The star ranking is very important. At this point in my career, I only work with 4.6 and above. So if you have like, if you're the top seller and you have 4.0 or 4.1, I don't, even if you have sold the most out of that keyword search, I wouldn't still add you to my store. If you're like a 4, a 4.1, a 3, anything like that, I still wouldn't. So now that this supplier, you know, they're the top one that's made the most orders, they have a 4.6 ranking. Their picture looks decent. It looks presentable. It's very inviting. It's giving, Leah, I want to be the backbone of your store. So of course I'll click on it, okay? And then when you click on it, we want to deep dive into certain things to see what they are about. I want to look at their pictures. I want to check their products that they have. And I also want to see where they ship and how much they charge to ship. You always want to look at their options as well, because sometimes people may come to your store and want certain products expedited and you want to have that option available, right? You want to see if the people that you are working with have that option to do that, okay? So as I go through and I look at the product descriptions, I see certain things that I like. I like the way they detail the product. I love the way they leave notes. They let you know what's in the product, what's happening, what to expect, right? These are all good signs of somebody that I would be willing to work with, okay? So you look at the materials display and everything like that. So then you scroll down, you look at the pictures, and then here is the product or the customer reviews rather. Okay, these are people who've actually bought from this supplier and they leave their reviews on their experience. Maybe the shipping time was too slow, maybe it was too fast, maybe they didn't get the product right. This gives you direct insight from people who have spent money and interacted with this supplier. So I personally love to read the reviews. I probably read maybe the first 5 to 10 of 5 stars and 1 star, right? Because I want to hear what made people extremely happy and what extremely pissed them off. Okay, so that's really like the only time people leave reviews is if they're extremely happy or they're extremely unhappy. All right, so that gives me insight into what's happening behind this seller's page or supplier's page. Okay, then from there, I'll make my decision on if I would order a sample from this supplier or not, and then move forward. Good luck, guys.